everybody. I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 7 English on related words. So, 7 English lesson, on shades of meaning. And before we start with shades of meaning, we're going to log into aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of, the subject of language arts, and then grade 7. Once we've selected the subject of English, grade 7, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of shades of meaning. And under the chapter of shades of meaning, we're going to be doing the lessons of to describe the difference between related words, as well as positive and negative connotations. So we're going to describe the difference between related words, as well as positive and negative connotations. All right, so we're going to go into our first lesson, which is to describe the difference between related words, or basically what shades of meaning are, right? And we said, when it comes to related words, or let's say shades of meaning, right? So basically, when we like related words can be different words which kind of means the same thing. It is not the same thing. It does not specifically mean exactly the same thing, but it has got different shades of meaning that is related to almost like the same thing, right? So which means that many of the words, right? So many words are similar but have subtle differences in meaning. And of course, it's similar to homophones almost, if we can call it like that, right? Because the words can be similar, right? But the meanings are slightly different. And when we think of all these differences, and then we call it shades of meaning. So shades of meaning, it's basically where words are similar, but they have subtle differences in meanings. For example, right? If we look at the words acquaintance, if we look at the word friend, and if we look at the word confidant, so not confident, confidant, right? So these are three words that people mainly use, right? Especially when they're referring to someone that is kind of close to them, someone that they can rely on, right? Or someone that they have, let's say, a good relationship with. And if we look at the meaning of these three words, which is acquaintance, friend, and confidant, right? An acquaintance. So, an acquaintance is a person you know only casually. So, like, no, you can, nowadays, people would say, like, you can't call everybody your friend. This is either my friend, and this is either an acquaintance, right? Which is someone I just know casually. Or if you have a job, they'll say, nope, this is not my friend. This is just my colleague, right? So basically, an acquaintance is a person that you know only casually. It's not someone that you're extremely close with. It's not a friend, right? But in this case, you have some form of relationship with this person. And this is on a casual basis. And then we have a friend. And friend, right? If you call someone your friend, and then the true meaning of a friend means it is a person you have a close, positive relationship with. So it's someone that you have a very close and positive relationship with, right? And that is someone that you can call a friend, or a person you can call a friend. It's someone that you have that is very close to you, very dear to you, and you have a positive, good relationship with that specific person. And then we have a confidant, right? So now, when do you call someone or when do you say someone is your confidant, right? And a confidant is an especially close friend. And this is someone you literally share your secrets with. So these are three different words, right? That are basically similar, because you can either say that um you are always, let's say, chilling with someone, right? But if you cannot trust the person in that sense to say to basically tell your secrets or to really talk in front of that person, then you can just say, okay, we are acquaintances. We casually know each other. We chill from time to time. And that is basically your acquaintance. And then you have a friend, which is a person that is very close to you and you have a good and positive relationship with. And then you have your confidant, right? Which is an especially close friend that you have an extremely positive relationship with and that you can share all of your secret with, which means that you trust this person. And when we look at these three words that are kind of similar but subtle in meaning, or difference in meaning, differences in meaning, Now, these are the things that we call shades of meaning. Because, sorry, if you look at all three of these words, acquaintance, friend, and confidant, right? All three of these words, they name relationships between people, whether it is casually, whether it is close and personal or positive, sorry, or it is where we can literally share a secret with, like you trust this person, right? But they suggest a different type of relationship. So it suggests some form of relationship between these people, but each one has a different type of relationship because the acquaintance has a casual relationship, a friend has a positive and close relationship, and a confidant has an even closer, more trustworthy relationship with someone. And these are shades of meaning. Words that are similar, but they have subtle differences in meanings. So basically, when you write, you need to consider the different shades of meaning between the words, right? So if you want to basically describe something, someone, especially based on these three words, then you need to be you need to be precise. You need to be descriptive, right? If you want to describe your close friend that you can trust and you can share your secrets with, right? And then you can basically use the word confidant instead of just a friend. Someone that you can basically express ideas with, someone that you can share your secrets with, someone that you can trust. And when you write, this is now when you are writing, right? The specific word that you choose and you're descriptive about it, right? This can help you express your ideas more clearly and accurate. Because if they say you must talk about your friend or you must talk about someone that you really trust, right? Then basically you will definitely make use of the word confidant. And if you also know the meaning of the word confidant, then you'll be able to also easily describe the specific person based on the fact that this is your confidant. Someone that you can share secrets with, someone that you trust. So you use maybe the word confidant instead of a friend, right? And that can help you express your ideas more clearly and accurately. All right. All right. So if we look at maybe this example over here also, it says something probable is likely to happen, right? So if something is likely to happen, then we use the word probable, right? So meaning like it will probably happen or probably happen, right? But if you know something could happen, and then you use the word possible. So if we look at the two differences between probable and possible, right? Probable is when you say something is likely to happen, like I'm not sure, but it might. It's like you're unsure about it. And then when we use the word possible, right? Then possible means that I'm actually confident that it could happen. There's like a 50-50 chance that it could happen. It's like you're more confident in knowing that something might happen. But also, when it comes to possible, it's not likely or necessary that it's going to happen. But at least you know it could happen. But when you use the word probable, and then we use probable because it's more likely to happen. If we look at these two words, abandon and leave, if you look at that two word, if somebody were to use the word or mention the words abandon and leave, which words do you think between those two words could be more negative? So which could be considered more of a negative word? Is it to abandon something or someone, or is it just to leave someone or something? All right. So basically, if we look at these two words, right, which is abandon and leave, right, we need to basically find which word is more negative. And the word abandon, it suggests purposeful neglect. It's like you neglected something on purpose. It's like you abandoned it. You abandoned someone, or it's an abandoned building, right? It's like people just up and left. And we usually, when we think of abandoned buildings, you usually think of it being windows are broken, doors are broken, spider webs. Like the place is just a wreck, right? The same with people. If someone is abandoned, it's like they just left that specific person, purposefully neglect. The person is either abandoned, the person is neglected, the person, they left the person. You can abandon a broken down truck, you can abandon a house, right? And usually it is things that you feel like cannot, or it's like you cannot fix it anymore, or you don't want to fix it anymore. So now you just leave the broken truck or the broken house, right? And that is why we say it is an abandoned building or abandoned truck. So basically, the word abandoned, it suggests purposeful neglect. Even if you listen to the word purposeful, it's like it's done on purpose, neglected on purpose. And then if we look at the word leave, right? Leave is more neutral. And leave you can basically use in a more wider range, right? You could have left your studies, you could have left the building, you could have left your job, you could have left your friends, right? Which means that it is more neutral. It's broad, right? It depends on what context you're talking about. However, if we look at abandonment, right? Abandon, it suggests purposeful neglect of something or someone. So if we look at these two words, which is abandon as well as leave, then if we need to basically answer the question which is more negative, and then we will say abandon is more negative. It's like it even emphasis, it puts more emphasis on how negative the word abandonment is. Abandon is more negative compared to leave because leave is more neutral. So now, which word suggests someone is sneaky? So someone is that's sneaky. Are they cunning or are they wise? This is now a sneaky person. Are they cunning or are they wise? So if we look at both of these words, cunning as well as we look at the word wise, right? Both of these words, they suggest that someone is intelligent. So both words, yes, it does suggest that someone is intelligent. But now specifically, if we look at the word cunning, then cunning suggests that someone is using her intelligence in a very sly and sneaky way. So basically, both cunning as well as wise, it suggests that someone is intelligent. Because usually, if they say someone is wise, we say someone is intelligent, we say someone is clever, right? That is when someone is wise. Wise is to do with wisdom. Cunning is also when someone is intelligent, but cunning suggests that someone is using her intelligence or his intelligence in a very sly, sneaky way. And that is what we call cunning. Which means that if we look at the word that suggests that someone is more sneaky, and then we would say it's the word cunning. Because cunning suggests that someone is sneaky. They're being sly. All right, so now we're going on to our test. So now we need to say which is more argumentative. So what is more or which is more argumentative? Like in a more argument way, right? Or argumentative way. Is it a response or a retort? So which is more argumentative? A response or retort? And if we look at the difference between these two words, a response, right, is basically where you are answering something, right? It's like they are asking you something and you are responding to whatever that is being asked or said. But now we have a retort. A retort is where you say something in answer to a remark. And you usually say it typically in a very sharp, angry, and witty manner. So it's like you are basically giving a response in a more angry and sharp way. So, which is more argumentative? So, is it a response or is it a retort? And if we look at these two words, right, based on our meaning or the shades of meaning, then we can say a retort is more argumentative. Because if you're just responding to someone, right, you're responding in a neutral way. But the retort is in a more angry, witty, sharp way. And a retort is more argumentative. So, which is more official? So, which is more official? Is it an association Or is it a group? So is it an association or a group? So which is more official, a group or an association? So we need to say which is more official. And if we look at the difference between basically a group and an association, usually a few members, right, or let's say a group of members can be defined as an association. Or an association can be called or can be defined as a group of people who come together in a pursuit or common interest, right? Or whatever goal that they have. So now this group or this few people, they come together and we call that an association. So if we can basically say which is more official, then we can maybe say it is an association because it's basically like a group of members because they have a common goal or they're coming together in pursuit of a common goal, right? So an association, a group of members that are coming together in pursuit of a common goal or they have common interest. If we look at these two words, immortal, and we look at the word alive, which word means something that will always be living? Something that will always be living. Is it immortal or is it alive? Is immortal something that will always be living, like forever? Or is alive something that will always be living? So immortal or alive, something that will always be living. And if we look at the difference between immortal and alive, so immortal is basically something that will be that's living forever. It's never dying, it's never decaying. And alive, it's basically now you alive for a few years, right? We have heartbeat, we can do things, we are alive, we are living. So which means that something that will be living forever is immortal because immortal is forever, never decaying, right? And that is immortal. And it's never dying. So that will always be living. So, which word suggests someone is sneaky? So, which suggests that someone is sneaky? Is it cunning or is it wise? When someone is sneaky, are they cunning or are they wise? And when you look at cunning and wise, both of these words they suggest that someone is intelligent. However, when someone is cunning, they're using their intelligence in a more slyish, sneaky way, which means that cunning is sneaky. It would suggest that someone is sneaky. All right, so now we're going to go on to either something being a positive connotation or it being a negative connotation. And when it comes to positive and negative connotation, you get words like denotation, or connotation. So denotation or connotation. So one of these two phrases either means something positive or it means something negative. So denotation, right, is the literal meaning of a word that can be found within a dictionary. Yes. Connotation is the feeling or idea that goes along with a word. And you can either have a negative connotation or you can have a positive connotation. And many words with similar denotations, right? They have different connotations, different feelings or ideas. For example, think about the words frugal or miserably. If you look at the word frugal or miserably, right? Both detone or be both denote tending to save money. But frugal has more a positive connotation and suggests a person is careful with money. So if someone is more frugal with money, they are more careful with money. While miserly has a more negative connotation and suggests someone is cheap and stingy. So we have frugal and miserly. And if you look at these two words, right, based on the meaning, which words do you think are more negative or which one is more positive? If we look at these two words, then frugal is a more positive word or positive connotation, and miserly is a more negative connotation. Because miserly, it suggests that someone is cheap, someone is stingy. Whereas frugal, it suggests that someone is more careful with their money. If we look at the two words, if you look at the word thrifty and stingy, right? Thrifty and stingy. Both these words, right, they suggest basically spending, right? It's like when someone is wanting to spend money. However, if we look at the word thrifty, right, then thrifty suggests a person that spends more money carefully, whereas stingy suggests a person is ungenerous or they are basically just cheap. So, which means that the positive connotation is thrifty, right? Whereas a negative connotation is the word stingy. You need to say which one is a negative connotation. Is it scrutinizing someone's outfit? So the word scrutinizing someone's outfit, or studying someone's outfit. And if you look at the word scrutinizing and studying, right, then both of these words denote examining something closely. It's like you're studying the person's outfit or you are scrutinizing this person's outfit. However, when you look at the word scrutinizing, right, it suggests looking at something in a very critical and negative way. And studying just looks at something in order to learn more about it. So if we look at the words scrutinizing as well as studying, then we would suggest that scrutinizing is a negative connotation within that sentence. If we now compare that to words, because scrutinizing someone's outfit, it's like where you are looking at it in a critical, more of a way in which you want to give your negative comments. All right, so now we're going on to our test. Which phrase has a more positive connotation? Is it a cowardly leader or a prudent leader? Say a cowardly leader or a prudent leader. And if we look at those two words, cowardly or prudent, prudent is where you are more caring of someone or something, right? Which means that if something is more positive, then we would say it is a prudent leader. They are more caring about the future. Cowardly is a negative connotation. Which phrase has more negative connotation? Is it scrutinizing outfit or studying someone's outfit? And if we can suggest which one is a negative connotation, then we would say scrutinizing someone's outfit because it's more like giving a negative comment or you're about to give a negative response based on the person's outfit. And lastly, which phrase has a more positive connotation? Is it when you have a nosy person or if you have a very inquisitive person? So if someone is nosy or when someone is inquisitive. So someone who is nosy, it's like that person just wants to find out juicy gossip things, right? It's like they want to be all up in your business. But a more inquisitive person, it's just someone who is eager to know more about you or know more about something, right? Which means that if something is more positive, we'll say it's an inquisitive person, not a nosy person. All right, so that is basically the end of our lesson on shades of meaning, right? And we describe the difference between related words, where we say that we can have different words, right? Or let's say similar words, but the meanings are slightly different. We made an example of words like acquaintance, friends, and confidant, right? We need to basically know when to use those words, especially when we are writing, in order for us to give a more descriptive writing of that specific person or thing. And then we have positive and negative connotations, right? Because you can have two words that denote the same thing or the same meaning or similar meanings, but one can either be positive and one can relate to it being negative. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson on shades of meaning. Thank you very much, grade 7, for joining our class, and I really hope you're going to have a good day further. Goodbye.